Astonishing scenes at Westminster with reports of jostling, manhandling, bullying and shouting outside the parliamentary lobbies.
There's no doubt about it, this wasn't the first 50 days that she would have mapped out.
Morning, sir. How long can Liz Truss last?
Her cabinet gathered this morning for a meeting and were asked this on the way in.
Is the cabinet behind us, sir?
We have made mistakes. I'm sorry.
I think she's rubbish. I don't want to accept the apology. I think she knew what she was doing and she didn't care.
I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Liz Truss didn't just lose her job today, she also lost to a wilting iceberg lettuce and a blonde wig that had been trying to outlast her as Prime Minister. Welcome to British politics.
It has been a hell of a week. Earlier this morning, I asked Harriet, who is the Deputy Political Editor for the Daily Mail, whether it's time for a circuit breaker in the form of a general election.
Well, that's what many Labour MPs would say. They believe that the government has no authority anymore, potentially on its third Prime Minister in a matter of months, and that they believe it is time for the country to have a say rather than just the Conservative MPs and Conservative membership. But it's looking relatively unlikely because at the moment Conservative MPs would have to back that, and that would be rather like turkeys voting for Christmas. Many of them, according to the polls, would probably lose their seats.
Well, they've got until Monday to choose their contenders for this next round of the Conservative Party leadership for the Prime Ministership. And it doesn't look like they're going to unite around one candidate, does it? Already this morning, Penny Mordaunt has declared that she is going to run.
Yeah, so Penny Mordaunt's the first one out of the blocks. She's the Commons leader. It's not looking particularly promising for her campaign. She's only got a smattering, really, of MPs compared to Rishi Sunak and Boris Johnson, neither of whom have yet declared that they are definitely running. Rishi Sunak almost certainly will. Boris Johnson, it's slightly less certain, but still very likely. And I think he's the real sort of disruptor in this contest. With him there, there's, bets are really off once Boris Johnson's name's in the ring. He's not the most popular of MPs, but he equally has a real following. And there's, for every positive about Boris Johnson, there's a negative. And he's incredibly divisive. Therefore, it's hard to see there being one unity candidate. And ditto, Rishi Sunak is a relatively divisive MP. He's seen by those who are pro-Johnson as having been crucial to his demise and stabbed him in the back.
Oh, well, there's a divided party, Harriet. Is Boris Johnson, he in many ways started this whole thing. Is he really a serious contender?
I think he is seen as a serious contender despite all of the issues with Partygate, the law breaking and other scandals which rocked his premiership. He is viewed as the only candidate that has a mandate potentially to govern and to not have a general election because, after all, he was elected by a massive majority to lead and be Prime Minister in 2019. So unlike Liz Truss and unlike Rishi Sunak or Penny Mordaunt, he has got a mandate from the people. Question, of course, is whether that mandate is going to have to change quite significantly because of the economic situation that we're in.
Yes, absolutely. Whoever wins the leadership, Harriet, inherits a divided party. How well are the Conservatives able to heal those divisions? Is that even possible?
I mean, from the outside, it certainly looks like it's become an ungovernable party. There are numerous different factions, and they are willing to rebel. And the fact that they got rid of Boris Johnson after a relatively short amount of time, and the fact that they've then got rid of Liz Truss even quicker, does suggest that it's becoming very, very difficult for one person to take control of that party. And that then, of course, leads to the question of whether we're heading for a general election, because that might be the only way to unify the party.
Well, Harry, what does this revolving door of leadership in the UK say about the state of British politics?
I don't think it looks particularly good from the outside, but there are a number of global pressures which have influenced this. You've got, for example, the war in Ukraine and the impact on gas prices, as well as the aftermath of COVID, which are having enormous, or wreaking havoc, really, on the economy, leaving the decisions left to politicians particularly difficult and particularly unpopular. But the infighting among the Conservative Party and the lack of ability for them to coalesce around one person, so it seems at the moment, is obviously exacerbating that and making it, a pretty unseemly sight, I think.
Yeah, it looks very unstable from where we are. But I just want to ask you finally, how will Liz Truss be remembered, do you think?
I don't think the history books are going to be terribly kind to her. I think her premiership probably will be remembered for crashing the markets. She, as some sketch writers have written today, she'll probably go down in the history books as a quiz answer as the shortest serving prime minister ever to have served. That's not obviously how you want to be remembered when you go into number 10.
Absolutely not. We really appreciate your insight and your analysis this morning. That is Harriet Lyon, Deputy Political Editor of the Daily Mail. Thank you.